Wait, what? Next on the Metal Pulpit. So a little change of venue this week. I'm up in my living room, but I wanted to talk about something that I saw recently on Facebook, and I can't remember what social network platform it was from, but it was a graphic that a church put up that said, taking the life-changing message to every neighborhood. Here's the deal. In the Metal Pulpit, this podcast comes at things from the viewpoint of me being a vocational pastor for the past 22 years and looking at the church side of life and maybe punching a few holes through it. When we put a graphic up in front of a church that says, taking the life-changing message to every neighborhood, that makes you feel good on a Sunday morning. You can get a crowd of people shouting, amen, we're going to do this, and we're going to go for it. But the problem is that usually when the event comes, there's a few people that'll help out to make that happen. And it's usually the 20% of people that do the 80% of the work. And that is a business theory, a business model that is not just a church thing. But the fact is that in general, in anything, 20% of the people do 80% of the work. So there's a problem right there. If a church is going to mobilize their congregants to take this message to every neighborhood, it has to be a humongous church for this to happen. And it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of resources. That's not my concern. My concern is that saying something like that from the pulpit throws all the other churches, all the other Christians that don't go to that church under the bus. It really does. What it's saying is that all the other churches in town suck, and we are going to get it done. It's like a missionary that says, I am going to take Jesus to South Africa. The fact is, he's already there. And if you do good, if you do your part, you just may be able to point some people in that direction, but you're not taking Jesus anywhere. He's already there. You see, churches, especially this time of year with Good Friday services, they always try to do ecumenical things. That means Baptists, Catholics, Lutherans, Assembly of God, EV Free, Presbyterians, Episcopalians, all trying to do stuff together. And that's great. I have no problem with that. In fact, Sanctuary is that. It's people from all walks of life, maybe even denominations coming together. But my concern is that when somebody says, we need to work together, we need to do these things, we love our neighborhood, we love the other churches in town, and then they say something like that, but we are going to take the gospel message to every neighborhood, it really throws off a bad vibe. Here's what a church should do. A church should provide for its people. The Apostle Paul, all throughout the New Testament, puts a lot of octane behind the thought that if you belong to a church, whether it's a brick and mortar building or a group of people gathering together, there are some awesome benefits to being a part of that. That is, you help each other out. Not just a pat on the shoulder, we'll pray for you, but, helping out in other ways, financially, giving of time, all of these things. I can say for our church, and we should be doing a lot more, that our church, we've put 2 roofs on people's houses that, quite honestly, they could have hired out, but why? It was a straightforward roof, and we were happy to do it. We were able to do car repairs. We were able to do all of these things. And, we go through these things and realize that there is a perk to being part of a church. Now, for a church to say we're going to take that gospel message to every neighborhood, it's really going way beyond what the church needs to be. For me personally, I'm okay with little Radiant Fellowship Church being Radiant Fellowship Church. That is, we serve each other. That's a big part of the New Testament church. We serve each other and we serve our neighborhood. Okay, we serve our community. I love all of Wapaka, Wisconsin. I really do. But our focus is up by 420 North Harrison Street in Wapaka. We don't necessarily come down to this side of town where I'm living and do things here. We stay up there. We're a light to our community. We let them know that we're there for each other and that if they ever need help, we're happy to help them out. We go down a couple blocks each month and we serve people at the little hotel, it's called, but it's really very low income housing. And we bring food, clothes, all sorts of things to them. Why do we do this? Because I fully trust the other church over here to do that in their part of the neighborhood. I fully trust the other church from another denomination in that neighborhood to do their job in that neighborhood. But to come across and say, we are going to do every neighborhood, that becomes a problem. And that really actually can set up for a downfall. So keep your focus the main thing, pastors. Keep your focus on your church, in your neighborhood, in your community, maybe even missions. But to say we are going to hit every neighborhood is to say other churches, you're doing a lousy job. Shoot me your thoughts, your questions, pastorbobadams@gmail.com. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Have an awesome day.